everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. We're going to do update 9. I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be another short one and show you what I've been doing. So let's get with it. Okay gang, before I get started on what I've accomplished today and yesterday, I'm going to tell you a little something. I bought some paint colors. These two grays. They're on the greenish side of gray. They're a little bit better than, or I like them a little bit better than the old fascia color, which was kind of a blue-gray. Anyways, the story I was going to tell you, I just thought was a little bit funny. I went and got the paint and a little bit of lumber, and I came back yesterday, and Robin said, "So what colors did you get?" And I reached in my pocket, nothing there. I thought, God dang it, I know I picked up a color sample. And I thought, oh well, I'll show her on the tops of the cans. She looked at it, and now she's seen it. But nevertheless, today I needed some pieces of trim, which you'll see here in a few minutes. And I drove back over to Lowe's. I go in and get my trim. I come back out. I go to put the stuff in the back of the truck. I look down. There's my paper, right where it fell out of my pocket yesterday in the same parking place I parked today. I thought that was kind of crazy. If it would have been a wedding ring or something like that, you never would have found it again, but there was my piece of paper. Anyways, that's just a story. Let me show you what's going on today, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, absolutely nothing going on with the layout itself, or the trains involved in the layout itself. However, I did get this shelf put in down here. It turned out to be a little more work than what I had anticipated. And I'll tell you what I did. This piece of wood was a 1x12 that I had for the lower level before. I had another piece attached onto it, if you remember, that went down that way. But I decided not to put any shelving down that way because the aisleway is skinny here, and I don't want people stopping and putting stuff under there. I don't want work taking place there or anything stored under there in that area because it is skinny. Anyway, I used the same piece of wood. What I did is I had a piece of corner molding that I put along the front edge here, tacked it in with my my air bredder, and I put a quarter round along the edge of the back just to keep stuff from falling out of there. If you put something on there, you put a car on there or something, and it rolls away. What I decided to do was attach onto the sides of the existing stringers with the other piece, a cut down. I took the other piece of the 1x12 that was here and I cut it down into 8-inch wide, I think they're 7 or 8 inch wide pieces, and decided to make these brackets hanging down. I set them back an inch from the front edge where the fascia will be. The fascia hopefully will be just below the edge of that those risers. So you can see that I'll have, I don't know, 6 inches there that you can stick stuff on those shelves. And then of course it goes back 12 inches. The idea was not to make that shelf go all the way back and attach it to that stringer back there, because if I ever want to get up with a screwdriver in between there and loosen this stringer and move it for any reason, I don't have to disassemble the entire shelf. Plus I didn't need it that deep. So you can see what I have back there. Another problem I ran into in the construction of these is I made these pieces here forgetting that I had my rope light through there. So once I got them constructed to the proper height from the top of the foam, or from the bottom of the foam rather, top of the risers to here, I had to cut a hole in there, or as you can see, a U shape in there with my jigsaw on every one of these. Now, of course, when I painted this today, I only painted up high enough to be for the visible part that you'll see whenever the fascia's on there. And there is, of course, I got my lighting in there, so you'll be able to see what you're doing on the shelf. And anyway, I'm happy with the way that turned out. As you can see, it'll give you a place to set some cars or car cards or something like that. I did have to disconnect my my switch right now is just screwed into the foam there temporarily until I can re-screw it back to that stringer right there. temporarily. So that's about it on that. It just took me an incredible amount of time to cut the pieces of lumber down and make the stringers that hang down underneath to get that shelf mounted. But I am extremely happy with the way it turned out. And it'll be nice and functional. Now let's take a look at what else I did. Okay, as you saw before, my little quick images of my paint colors. These are the two paint colors I've chosen. This dark one on the left here will be the fascia color, and this one will be the wall color. And when I say wall color, I'll show you what I mean. Here's what I finally wound up with. I painted the wall gray, the light gray, all the way around to where it meets the scenic, the backdrop over there. I have this hole in the wall. I'll show you in a minute what my plan is for that. I think I've told you I was going to do a little diorama in there, but I wanted something to cover that up. Couldn't think of anything, and the other day we were at Hobby Lobby in Albuquerque, and I found just the right thing. On this end, you can tell how much darker this paint is than this paint, but on the when you're looking at the top, well, I guess in the video here it does look a little bit darker, especially if I get up like this. You can see how the darker color is. I had stained this with a gray stain that I had bought, and when I got it all cut and got the top put in there, I just didn't like the stain. The stain was a blue-gray color, and it just did not go with these two grays. So I wound up painting over it with the this what will be the fascia color. So anyways, now you're kind of getting the idea of how this comes together. All my models will stack up against that wall over there somehow. I'll show you what I have for here. There'll be some shelving that goes up here, and I'm not exactly sure what yet. I kind of like the industrial look of the pipe fittings. I don't know if you've watched HGTV, you can see them building shelves out of cast iron pipe and fittings and so forth. I'm going to give that a shot possibly over there, depending on if it's not cost prohibitive, and make some shelving over there, put models on and so forth. I will probably likely put the Shea picture I have back up here on the top, but you can see how that's going to work. And then of course I rounded this inner corner right here, so my fascia will come around here, and then it'll come to this corner. There'll be a 90-degree fascia corner here. I was going to make that round, but it was going to be way too sharp to bend the masonite around. So basically that's how that corner is going to work. I will still be able to put stuff under there, just like the stuff's under there now. I need to get some black paint and black out some of this back here. I'm going to have to touch up some of the black that I have. Nevertheless, that's really all the work I did today. Cutting out this piece here was quite a chore. I had to take the 4x8 in and out of here several times to get it, not several, 3 times to get it, well, I guess 3 is several. But anyway, I took it out of here several times to get it just the right width. I always had it just a little bit too wide because that's not quite square. My stringer right there is not quite square, almost, but a 1/4 of an inch off at the end closest to us. So anyways, to get to the story, I had to take it in and out there several times, which is kind of a pain in the neck because 8-foot things do not like to go out of here through this door very well with a bunch of stuff sitting outside there. So anyway, I got it all cut, and I'll try and get the camera up here so you can kind of see how that looks, and I'm happy with it. And then of course then you come around and you'll have the layout, and nothing new on the layout obviously. Let me show you what I purchased to thinking about covering that hole with over there. Okay, so when we were at Hobby Lobby the other night, they had these signs. Well, they had all kinds of stuff, 50% off. So I couldn't hardly resist this for 16 bucks or whatever it was. But it's going to go there, but it's going to go up, just enough to cover that. So it's going to go up about 4 inches and over just far enough to cover the hole over there. Something like that. And the reason I bought this is that, number one, I can put some anchors in and screw it to the wall and unscrew it as need be. Plus, this is galvanized metal. What can I do with galvanized metal? I'll show you. Hang on. Okay, the galvanized metal is a good thing because I can do this. Horny toad collection. I can stick horny toads on it. Plus, it's not very deep either. It's not going to interfere with stacking up models over here. It'll probably obliterate a little bit of the sign, but I'm not too worried about that. It'll just be something there to cover that hole for the most part, and people will get the idea. I just thought it was rustic. I thought it looked cool, and that's where it's going. And I don't know what I'll be putting on any of these walls, especially this one right here, yet. I have a few thoughts. Another thing I bought, and I forgot to mention this, another thing I bought when I was in Albuquerque, I was at a indoor flea market, and I bought this. And it's nothing, I mean, it's nothing I would ever build or anything, but it sure does take me back to the 60s. And I just bought it basically for the box, and I thought, you know, that'd be kind of cool, maybe up there on the wall somewhere in a hobby related area. Let me just show you another thing I was going to do. I'll be right back. Let me get this thing out of its folder. Okay, as some of you may or may not know, Rod Stewart is an avid model railroader. And I was in the indoor flea market, and I happened to run across this album. And I liked the album cover. And I thought, before I found that garage sign over there that could serve two purposes, I thought, you know, if anybody that's into model railroading knows that Rod Stewart is a model railroader, I could actually open up, I'm trying to get it stood up, I could actually open up this album cover and put some thumbtacks in it and put it across that hole where the opening is going out into the garage. And people would probably get the significance of that. I only paid a couple of bucks for the album, but I may just keep it. The album and the jacket inside and everything are in good shape. The outside's not in too good a shape, but nevertheless, that was another thought I had that just kind of went by the wayside when I found the garage sign. So anyways, guys, I guess that's about it for today. I don't know what else to tell you out here. And I guess we'll call it a day. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video today. As you see, not a lot really going on with the trains per se, but the room, yes. And I'm real happy with it so far. I'm going to let this dry, like as I said, for a few days before I put stuff on it. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video today. And as usual, thanks for watching.